too.
Yes. I mean, people looking at you right now, they'll think that you are just like, let me see, maybe you are just in your 20s.
Yeah, that's exactly what the Uber driver said.
Okay.
When I got on an Uber this evening, he's like, "You don't look like you are in your 40s at all. You look
Mhm.
like a 20-year-old."
Yeah. So you've
So
been blessed with that young looking gene.
glory to God.
Yeah,
Glory to
awesome. So
God.
how does it feel? How does it feel to be celebrating your birthday today? It's been a lot of calls, a lot of text, a lot of.
Yeah, I am just so overwhelmed with just the outpour of love. I just feel like we're surrounded with, God has blessed us with the best people on earth.
Mm,
Loving, caring, appreciative, honoring family
mhm,
that God has blessed us with, spiritual family, biological family,
mhm,
friends from all over the world. God
mhm.
has just surrounded us with so much blessings in the relationships that we have around us, and I'm really thankful for that. I'm
Mm.
thankful. Thank you to everyone. Thank you for your calls, for your prayers, for your wishes. I'm truly grateful.
So how
Yeah.
does it feel to, like, a grown up? How does it feel to have the kids, take care of themselves
Yeah, it's kind of,
for what? For the first time?
this was actually one of my goals for the year. So I am glad that it's coming to pass. Yeah, one just has to be intentional. I just found that over the years, I found it very hard to get away.
Mhm.
It's like I feel so attached to the kids, and I feel the sense of responsibility that I can't walk away from any moment, any time. But thank God they're grown now, and
Yeah.
they can take care of themselves. So
And with our theme for the spicy night tonight,
yeah,
where this is spicy night exchange, like
yeah.
our introducer or our MC SC introduced it.
Yeah.
This is spicy night exchange, and we're focusing on listening. That's
Mm,
our theme, like on
mm.
listening, because by the time we're thinking of, like, should we leave the kids and just go? I said, let's go. And all. I went to talk to the kids. They were like, come on, we are okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesse was like, I'll take care of everybody. Just
yeah, even
go.
Pearl. I mean, even
Yeah.
Pearl was like, she didn't make a big fuss about it.
Yeah.
Although, we had been talking about it for like 2 weeks now. So,
Yeah. So, well,
yeah.
it feels good to just, it's a new phase of life. So today we're going to be talking about listening.
Yeah.
So this is Spicy Night Exchange, and we have,
Woman one, then your life will be a little bit easier.
yeah,
So
happy wife. What is it? Happy
happy
wife,
wife,
happy
happy
life.
life.
Okay, all right. But you got to
Yes.
listen, right?
Yes, you got to listen because women are complex beings.
So are men too. We are very complex too.
Yeah, men are complex beings,
Yes.
but women are complex in a different way. Like, woman tells you something, but they actually mean the opposite. So you
Okay,
actually
now
have
we
to
are men. Better take note
you
right
have to
now.
decode, just like our own little scenario
Yeah.
about coming here.
Yes.
You know, I really wanted to come. I told Pastor Lan, I said, "Oh, I'm going on a getaway. I want to come by myself. I am going to book a hotel and I'm just going to come by myself." But I really wanted him to come, but I didn't want to tell him to come. So I said that, hoping that he will pursue me and tell me that he wanted to come. So, and that's exactly what he did. He asked, he's like, "Can I come along?" I'm like, "Sure, come." So, so women can be complicated. It just has
Why
to,
couldn't you have just said, "Come with me"?
I didn't want it to be that easy.
I
I didn't
mean,
just want to
oh
get, I
man,
wanted,
you know.
women love to be pursued,
Okay,
right?
all right,
So, even in marriage,
okay.
they want to be
So you want
pursued.
to be chased and be chased all the
Yes,
time. Okay, we need to
yes.
bring the panelists into this
Yes, I'm looking
conversation.
forward to this conversation.
All right,
Yeah.
so we have some very powerful panelists today that will be dealing with this first roundtable. We're first going to go with the women, and then we're going to have a roundtable of men later. So first of all, let me welcome to the panel SC SC Armour, she was the one that introduced SPICEE. Let's welcome her. And then I'm going to welcome Betsy, Victor. You can turn on your videos as I call your name. Welcome, Betsy, and also unmute yourself too, so you can say hello. You guys can say hello to
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Betsy. Hi, SC.
I see. And then I'm going to welcome Maya. Maya, please come up. Welcome, Maya.
Hi, Maya.
Welcome. And
hello.
Then, yeah, thank you. I welcome Ella. Ella. Show your face. All right. Welcome, Ella. I can't see Ella's face yet. Looks like, where's Ella? Okay, our video is coming on. Let's welcome GB to GB. So you can show your face. All right. So,
hey, GB.
So, wow. So guys, we're live on Facebook and YouTube. So, and there are people watching us on the different pages right now, and they are interested in your opinion. First of all, I want to ask you, the conversation that Deborah and I just had, I mean, was she right or was I right? You know?
I was laughing so hard.
Why couldn't she tell me that, please, you know, I want to go with me, but she's like, I want to go alone. And I had to say, can I come along? You know, why couldn't she do that?
I thought it was so cute, and she was so spot on, and I was laughing so hard. I was like, it's like, are they real people? It's but she is absolutely right. Women love to be pursued. We want to be minding our own business, taking care of the business, doing what we have to do, and we want the tap on the shoulder to be pursued. So she was spot on.
Awesome. So, well, do you guys have something to say to that again? Betsy, SC, GB, Ella, we still can't see your face, Ella. So do you guys want to say something to that? Women like to be pursued. Is that true?
Yes, it is.
So I would definitely echo what Pastor Debo said. It is true, because you feel special and important, and women like to feel important. So you definitely, and there's a bit of this thing that you're wanted or you're needed. So
okay, so what's behind that thing of speaking, instead of speaking what you want, you speak the opposite, or you just speak a little? Somebody made a statement. He said that when a woman says nothing, know that there's everything. They say, oh, is there really good? Nothing. Is there anything? Nothing. That there's a whole lot. Why do you guys, I don't know, maybe it's a stereotype, so that's why you are here. Why do women, I don't know, can you just speak to...
I think for me, and a lot of women may resonate with this, I think it's that feeling of, I want you to think of this thing by yourself. I don't want to tell you what to do. I want to know that you're actually thinking about me. You're actually, I want to be with Debo. I want her to feel special without Pastor Debo having to say, Pastor Lan, I want you to be there. It's that level of assurance. It's one thing for me to tell you to do something and you do it. That's great. But it's another for you to actually come up with it on your own. Ooh, extra points.
Even after 26 years.
Oh, yes.
I've been chasing
after 70 years.
I've been chasing her for 26 years.
Yeah. My grandfather had arthritis and he was still chasing my grandmother. So yeah.
Shouldn't we get a break from chasing?
No.
Also, let me add on to that point, is because I think it's about expectations as well, because women have a tendency of knowing what you need when you're hungry, your favorite food, and always just thinking of you. So it's like an expectation that we want that reciprocated at times or at all times. So it's like an expectation of, watch me do for you, and do the things and remember and all that good stuff, and just waiting for you to reciprocate that behavior.
Okay, thank you.
That's good.
Essie, what do women want from your perspective?
Well, first of all, I feel like everybody here wears glasses. I'm going to take my glasses off just to even out and represent the other population of women that don't have four eyes.
I don't wear glasses.
Yeah. I will say that in the example that was given by Pastor Debo about wanting to be chased, I personally am not one of those women. I do desire to be chased, but I think the project manager in me likes to deal in absolutes and would like to know who's coming when they're coming, so we can make sure we have the right amount of money. So I I don't you know how when Pastor Deborah said, we want to kind of let you infer. I'm a very direct person, and I've noticed that I gravitate towards men who say what they mean and mean what they say. So for me, I desire a man, or if I would say what women want is from men, just to be direct. When they say women are complicated, I think men are like 10 times more complicated, because it's not like you have to
Preach.
Right, exactly. It's not like you have to kind of infer. It's like, what are they not saying? They're talking, but what are they not saying? And for me, I just feel like in order to get to that well-balanced place of man and a woman feeling the right amount of emotional intimacy and confidence in their relationship is to get, tomorrow's not promised. Look at Corona. I can't be like, hey, baby, I'm going to Disneyland, hey, you look up, tomorrow's gone. Maybe you want to come? So that's just the way I am. I think that, just to round up my point, either party, male or women, I think that being direct when you can is going to, and be very clear in your communication, is going to allow both parties to feel the love and security that they desire.
So basically you're saying that women want clear communication, like just don't beat around the bush, right? Talk straight, tell us what you feel, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I will stand by that.
You have a lot of brothers, Essie?
Yes, I have 2 brothers and I have 2 sisters. And I always say that I have personalities of both genders when it comes to things. So yes, I grew up a tomboy, and I just felt like I'm able to see a man's perspective, but I also understand the desires that women have and the role that we play biblically, as well as in the natural role in the household. So I think communication and directness is very essential to get to the meat of the issue so we can resolve it ASAP.
Okay,
So
something is coming up in this conversation now, that you can't even put all women in one box.
That's right.
Absolutely.
But you read all these books and they talk about, okay, his needs are needs. This is what the woman wants, this is what the men want. But sometimes you read it, you'll be like, for example, they read something, they said, what a man wants, the primary need of a man is sex. I'm like, I don't know. I think there are some men have other primary needs, that maybe generally most men, that's their primary need. But I was like, that's not my own primary need, So sometimes you have all these stereotypes. Betsy, you're a married woman. So what do women want?
So I will say that my perspective, so now I'm a mom too. So as you know, my perspective has sort of changed from the time before I was a mom to now that I'm a mom. My take is we say the success of every man, there's a woman behind his success. I think the opposite also holds, right? So behind every woman's success, there's actually has to be a man. And if your husband or your partner is not supportive, a woman can't be very successful. It's just a fact of matter, right? So as a mom, you're juggling, you're wearing multiple hats. And so for me, I think, in a relationship, it's really important for your husband, your your partner to be supportive. And know that, I mean, I truly believe in an equal half. And I also believe that a woman can be whatever they want in life, but just being able to have someone who is supportive in those daily, daily tasks, or just willing to listen and empathize. To me, those are the things that I value now compared to things that I valued before I had a baby. So your perspective sort of changes based on your stage in life.
Exactly.
That's definitely.
So you're saying that as you change seasons of life, even what you want changes, as a woman. So for you right now, it's support, right?
Exactly,
That's what you
exactly,
want.
right? Right, exactly.
But before then, before you got married, before you got into this phase, what is it that what was it that you wanted? What was your primary need before you got to this? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a fair point. I definitely wanted a person who was a good listener, because folks who know me know I love to talk. So definitely needed someone who was more on the good listener side, someone who's patient and compassionate, and who can also be intellectually at the same level or about. So I needed someone who I could have, deep discussions and know what I'm talking about. So I think those were things that I look for. So.
Okay, very good. Ella, welcome to the conversation. We couldn't see you for a while.
Oh, well, I was here and listening. So many good things were shared. And I would just like to say that, knowing yourself, knowing your communication style personally as an individual, and then as a couple is so crucial. Just understanding, how you communicate, whether it's through text message, face to face, having a message board. Like in our house, we have a calendar, we put all our main activities on it just to communicate well with one another. So just knowing how you communicate is so important to the health and well-being of the relationship.
So you are saying communication too. So,
Mhm.
what SC was saying was also communication. And then Betsy brings in support. So she was more of communication before, listening.
Right.
But now, because of the stage she's in, she's a mother. So support is like coming up as the primary one. Okay, so GB, what do women want from your own perspective and stage of life?
I think that a lot of factors need to be considered. Like Ella said, knowing what works for you, knowing your personality type, knowing your love language, knowing what stage, identifying what stage you are in life. So for example, as a 25-year-old, what I wanted from a guy, not me personally, but what I would think girls at 25 years old would be from guys would be someone who is popular or someone who can take me out and take me here and all that stuff, which is fine for that level. But as you get older, seasons change, you change. Not to say that you don't know who you are, but there are things that could that you may have to adapt to. There's some things that you may have to like get on board with. And at those specific times, your needs change. So I think that I don't think I can say one thing a specific thing that women want, because with communication, what if you have someone that's not necessarily supportive? He hears everything that you say, but he doesn't really do anything about it. Or, he does, but he doesn't listen. Or he supports you, but he's not intelligent. So all these, I feel like all it happens. So I think that there are a variety of things that make up an ideal partner. For me, it's, are you being your best self as of right now? Are you being who you are supposed to be and walking in your purpose as of right now? I mean, you may not necessarily know what your purpose is, but are you walking in a way that you can be proud of, someone that I can look to and say, oh yes, like this is someone that I want to follow. This is someone that I know that we could be a good partner, and all these other elements come in, the communication, the, you know, the support, the intelligence, all those things. Are we at par? Are we synced, kind of thing? So it's a multitude of things. Basically, I don't know.
So are you all saying that? So and that's great. You know, I think I can pick up like different themes from what you're saying. So are you saying that the more you mature or as seasons change,
you just have to know, you have to
needs change, and then when you tie in communication to it, you almost have to communicate like in every season of life with your partner, like what your, you know, what your needs are, because those needs keep changing, right?
Absolutely.
So that means the man has to ask, when you guys are, maybe you were dating, single, okay, what are your primary needs? And then, you know, 2 years later, have they changed?
Yeah.
And then, have they changed?
You know, I will say that it goes both ways, personally, and the woman and the man needs to know. I think that the asking is for confirmation, but you should be diving deep into your relationship at different points to see what that partner needs. I think women are constantly doing that for the men at every stage. Well, how can I help him? How is he changed? What is his needs? I'm not saying men don't do it, but it's almost because it's so innate and natural for a woman that it's almost expected. And I feel like we do ourselves an injustice by not also requiring our men to say, hey, at different stages, intuitively look for what I need. You know, if you're dating,
why do we need to require men? Why can't they just do it?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't mean require, another choice of like, have it as a standard. Like it's okay for you to tell a man or seek a man who's able to adapt with you. Not you're adapting, you're going from I'm in college to I'm in my first job, and then I'm getting married and I'm a mother, and you're changing and adapting, but it's okay to say my man needs to adapt with me. It's not saying, oh, I'm dealing with my woman and she's going through hormones. No, my mate should be adapting with me because he's also going from college to his first job and married and father. The women do that automatically, but I desire to see more men who give women as much grace as we give them.
Okay, I'm going to ask you guys a question. And Maya, you go first. Who is an ideal man from your perspective?
Great
what
question.
does a good man look like? Like, you know, what are the qualities from your perspective of a good man?
That's a good question. I consider myself a wise because I'm almost reaching 50 years old. A lot of people don't believe that because I don't look my age. So I consider myself in the wise, going to the wise. So I have some wisdom, right?
Yeah. Give us some wisdom.
You better keep it real, girl.
That wisdom is a lot because what that means is that, you have experience. And that means that you've done that, been there, done that. So, when I'm if I have that question, I'm just looking for straight off authentic, being your true self, no matter where you are in life. And as long as because I believe two negatives get to a positive, right? So it doesn't, it's no such things as perfection. So, and I get that. So wherever you are and wherever I am, and if you're authentic and genuine and not scared to show your weaknesses, because a lot of people, to me, hold back, and you find out that you start peeling off the surface in your 5th year and be like, oh, I didn't know that. It's okay to be your true self. So if I could get to that place in which that being real and true, not scared, honest. You know, those characteristics, basics, are really what matter to me.
Awesome. Thank you. Wow. So authenticity. So that's an ideal man is an authentic man that's open and real.
Yes.
Whether you're real with your weaknesses, real with your strength, with your tears and all that.
Yes.
Someone who's transparent.
Who's transparent. Is it true that women, they get easily caught by men that cry like that? Oh, they're so it's so real. It's so just cry.
I don't know if it's about the man crying, but I think women get amazed by a man who feels that he doesn't have to have a weirdness with him expressing his emotion. Okay. I think that more men need to express how they feel, because as a woman, I'm honestly, and I'm gonna keep it real, I'm tired of going through emotional hoops and trying to figure out how the man feels. I know men feel that way about women, but I feel that way about men. Tell me what you want, what you need, how you feeling. And I feel like for me in this stage, it's no longer about what women want, but it's like, what do women want men to know? And for me, I need men to know it's okay. You can enter a relationship without earning 10 figures. It's okay for you to come into a relationship and have barriers or challenges or nervousness. We're not looking for you to have the right answer, but what's not okay is to categorize all women as emotional or, flighty. Women are very dynamic creatures, and you never know what you're gonna get, but you got to know your friends, just like you have to know your friends, you got to know your woman. And your woman is, I call it, it's like a cell within your body. No two cells are alike, but they're all working towards the greater good. We're very diverse, but we're very adaptable. You let us know what you need, and we will do our best to make sure that you're comfortable. But I feel like a lot of men I've run into feel that there's a connotation of weakness with vulnerability. And not to get all spiritual, but in the Bible, Jesus was very vulnerable. There's lots of people that were vulnerable and still were strong. So I'm not sure if there's a cultural component, but for me, what I would like for men to know is, number one, it's okay to be who you are, like Maya said. It's okay for you to be vulnerable. It's not okay for you to dress up in jeans and the gym shoes when we're going out and I'm all dressed to the nines with my heels. It's not okay for you to feel like you have to be a macho man when that's not your personality, because that's not the reason why we came to you or came to join in this marriage or relationship with you. So I think men have a lot of pressure on them, and the one person who you shouldn't feel pressure from is the woman that you're with. So be yourself, and we're there to support you.
Thank you. Betsy, who is an ideal man?
Well, so I think, the virtues that I look for in an ideal man is definitely someone who is patient and compassionate and supportive, but also very confident, right? So to me, as someone who's very confident is very attractive, not because there's a difference. I have a clear demarcation between a chauvinist man, which I cannot tolerate at all, but someone who's very confident because and someone who treats you as equal, and and someone who, like I said, for me, that intelligence is really important, because if not, you can't have, if not, your discussions are about completely separate topics, right? So I think those are the virtues that I look for in a person, and someone who's willing to, sometimes it's okay for the women, to be more successful than the man. That's completely fine, or vice versa, right? So I think just knowing that, if you want a relationship to be successful, there's no predefined roles anymore, or maybe I just have a different perspective, but I don't believe in predefined roles where a woman needs to cook and take care of the child while the man needs to provide. I think, you know, I do believe in gender equity, and I do believe that you know, the role of women is changing. Women are wearing multiple hats, and if the men are willing to take an equal share and be supportive, you know, you can both have a successful career and a very happy marriage. So I think these are the things that I look for. So, and I think one of the core thing, and I guess, you know, none of us touch love, right? I think, you know, we all married for love, and that love existed, but for the love to continue on, you really need to work on it. And as you change, and what love means is also very different. And Pastor Lan, what you articulated is very true. What love means for a guy might be very different for what love means for a woman. And you know, someone earlier, you know, mentioned this, and I do echo that everyone's love language is different. So really knowing what your love language is and what the love language for your partner is, that's really important, because once you know that, then you know where the alignment lies and where the gap lies. So it helps that communication become better. Yeah, so these are the things that I look for. I hope my husband is watching this, by the way, but I don't know if he is.
Don't worry, it's being recorded. Just tell him, go to Facebook. You know, there's a video I'd like you to watch. You know.
I think he's what?
I can give him a call afterwards. You know?
I know. I think he's watching nursery rhymes with Naomi, because if not, I couldn't. So, all right,
Awesome.
that's all from me.
Yeah, thank you, Betsy. All right, Ella, who is an ideal man?
So first of all, I would say know your values, know who you are as an individual. When I met Tom, we had core values of compassion for orphans, for children and women in Africa, and that really kind of solidified our purpose and our vision. While vision and purpose can change through seasons of life, like we talked about, just having that consistent value structure, maybe having 2, 3, 4 shared values, can really put a lot of life and spice into your relationship. And I would just say that that's really important. Know yourself. Take the Leading Lights training if you haven't. It's really powerful. Second of all, I would say someone that is financially responsible. I'm not saying that the person can't have a debt or, you know, any issues there, but having a plan to work out of that debt and to financial freedom. And that also means having a savings plan, right? And being able to have an investment plan, like, okay, in 5 years, 10 years, this is what I'm wanting to do, and this is how I'm going to work it out. That's very important. And I think it's added a lot of depth and value to our relationship, as Tom is definitely the saver and I'm definitely the spender. But since being in relationship together, I think in having that good communication, we've come to the point where, you know, we're saving and even getting rid of a car we didn't need and getting rid of a car loan, just so that we can have, you know, that savings building up every month.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think we lost you. Yeah, but thank you, Ella. GB, quickly, who is an ideal man? Then I have one last question for all of you before we shift to the next thing. GB, quickly, who is an ideal man?
So everything my sisters have said, plus, and I think this is something that we should all kind of think about. A man that has a teachable spirit, just someone that not only does he listen, but like he actually thinks about what he's, you know, what you're saying and is able to adapt to the situation. Someone who is playful, because I'm playful. I really need someone that I can look up to, I have a lot of respect for, but can still have that sense of humility and just, just we can both come down to each other's level and just play it out, talk it out, pray it out. Someone who is intelligent, because I strive for intelligence. I'm someone who likes to understand the why. I like to know things. So I want someone who can seek knowledge with me. I would like someone who is healthy, because I am healthy. I like the gym. So I'm not saying that he has to go to the gym, but he has to, I'm not saying he has to go to the gym. Let me just put it out there. I'm not saying that. But I would really like someone who is responsible with their health. So you may be on the bigger side, but then if you want to get to a place where you are healthy, like we can work together on that. And that comes in with the whole teachable spirit, being humble, knowing that, we're not perfect. We're still growing in our ways. No matter how old you are, you're still growing. The moment you stop growing, you're dead. So it's just about wanting to move forward together and just being synced.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all. Okay, so my last question for you all is this, and this is like, I know we're getting into some hot topic here, but we we don't have the time to discuss it all. But feminism, women, well, I mean, women liberation, I love that for it and all that. But I'm talking about extreme feminism where the place of men becomes irrelevant. I mean, how do I even put it? Like, just that, what are you guys' view concerning that? I know that for everything, there's always an extreme and all that. What is your view? I know there was an extreme where men were elevated above women, which was wrong, because the Bible never says anything like that. Men and women are created in the image of God equal, right? And then there's the submission issue and all those stuff. I just want to hear your quick thought. Every one of you can just take, like a minute or two to just talk about that. And then we'll come back later with the men. We'll touch on that a little bit. So quickly, anybody can go first.
I'll go first. I support it, but it's just about your character and who you are to me. For example, I enjoy cooking and doing that type of stuff. I have no problem filling that role. That's something I like to do. So so I have mixed feelings on it in a sense that I support it. But if it's not you, don't try to fit yourself into that box. It's variety out here, right? So that's just my opinion, and it goes for, like what I said is, if someone comes to their authentic self on who you are, you have that choice to either stay or go, right? So because who you are is who you are, and you don't want no one to change you, and you can't change anyone. That's something that's a no. Don't try to change people. So you have that choice to say, okay, you're this person, this is who you are, and you have a choice to either stay or go. So if you have a woman that's really for that type of expression, or that, you have that choice. If you don't like it, leave. And if you do, stick on. That's just how I see it.
Okay, thank you. Anybody can go next.
Living out of your strengths is so crucial, right? A lot of times we think that different tasks are to be done by certain gender role, and that is not the case. Understanding what your giftings are and what you can bring to the table well, and what you can work on and maybe start introducing into your relationship to support that other person. It all comes down to what is emotionally, spiritually, physically going to support that person to live their best life. And having that communion, that unity together, as you discover what your giftings are in the marriage, whether it's cooking, whether it's any other tasks that there may be in a marriage that you have. Understanding, things change, seasons change. Tom's been cooking at the start of pregnancy. I didn't want to cook or see onions or anything, and he helped, and just understanding, that you're both submitted to God, you're both submitted to each other, and that's the most crucial aspect of it. Is your heart submitted? And if your heart is submitted to love God and to love each other, you won't have issues.
Okay, thank you, Ella.
I was going to, sure. I think to properly answer this question, we first need to understand what feminism is. And to everybody, I don't know a lot about feminism, so I can't confidently speak on it. But I will say that I think the common thread of truth is women want to be equal, whatever equal means, equal in the workplace, equal in being a seat at the table to make, the government. I will say for me, what I subscribe to is not something that can be so complicated into are you a feminist or not? Ultimately, as a woman, I am looking to enter a relationship with a man that is a leader who is showing himself as being able to lead, and leadership not being confused with dominance. I think that that's confused. And when women are usually in a situation where they are rebelling against leadership of their male counterpart or spouse, it's because they're actually being dominated. So I would say that I am all for being whatever is necessary to keep my man happy, to keep my home happy, and doing what I got to do to make everybody good. If I need to wash clothes, cool. I just hope that in this relationship, being equal, baby, you gotta wash clothes too. You gotta, cook, and you gotta clean the bathroom too. I'm not all for gender roles. I'm for the role of we doing whatever we need to do to keep us happy. So that's my take on it.
GB, yeah, GB, you want to say something, or Betsy?
Completely agree with Essie. I believe I am the best of both worlds. I'm an only child, and I'm very girly, and I'm also very, very handy. I have a toolbox that's pink. So yeah, I'm the best of both worlds. And that toolbox
toolbox. Okay.
Yeah, and that toolbox is heavily equipped, and I use every single one of them, and I know what every single thing is, but it's pink. So it's whatever the role, like Essie said, whatever needs to be done. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or you're a girl, whatever needs to be done. We're trying to get to that finish line together. So we need to come together as a team and just do what we have to do to get to that point. So yeah.
Betsy.
So, I do believe, I do believe in equality, and I think, and this is something with this gender equality or racial equality. I do believe that God created us equally. However, I also believe that each of us are wired differently and we have our strengths, right? And I am not a girly girl. So if you know me, I'm actually, I never, since the time I was a kid, liked to cook. I never enjoyed cooking, but I'm sort of like the cleaner. Like I will clean the place out. So there's certain, and I was also the kid who actually, so I went into electrical engineering, which is a very male dominated field. But so it's one of those things where in general, I think, we need to, as women or men, need to know where our strengths are. And I think someone mentioned that earlier. We need to capitalize on that, right? We need to work on it. So my husband is a foodie and he's very particular about his food. So I'm not a good cook. So, once my cooking did not meet his standards, I just told him, hey, maybe you should just cook for us because it's not going to work out. So it's really knowing where, what you are good at and trying to play that part in the relationship. But I also, so here's where I might differ to a little bit. As a wife, for a happy life you need to have a happy wife. But they also say that for a happy life you also need a happy husband, right? So there are times when you when you don't say something just because, you know, you just, the piece is most important, and this can be anything. So this is really where I feel that, you know, there are times it's not submission, and I might be going against the word, but it's you hold your tongue because for the best interest of the relationship, or at that moment, it's best for you to hold the tongue. You might be right, but it's just, you know, best for you to hold the tongue. So um, so to the point about, you know, to the point about, you know, I am definitely an advocate for equality, um, but also, you know, more of an advocate for knowing your strengths and, you know, using those strengths to move the relationship forward. And I do believe like sometimes opposite attracts, at least in my case. That has something that happened because I'm one of those people who are very, you know, adventurous, and you know, you somehow get attracted to someone who is not, and so that's so that, and that's sort of the balance, right? That's sort of the balance that you have in the relationship. So
Okay, well, thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
So,
Wow, rich discussion.
yeah, this is a great discussion, and it's something that we still have to continue. We're going to, you know, go off now. I will, in a short, just a few minutes, I will ask all of you to turn off your video. We're going to watch a quick presentation for about 5 minutes or so, and then we're going to come back with a panel of men to discuss what men want. And then at the end, we're going to have all the panels mixed up, and we'll have some discussions together as men and women. I know, Betsy, you have to go. So I want to say thank you for joining. You know, you have to go take care of Naomi. So thank you so much for joining us. But keep, you know, watch it and tell Tim to watch it too.
Yeah.
yes,
This
will
is
do. Thank you, everyone.
definitely-
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about to get spicier.
Yes. All right. So if you guys can just turn off your video, we're gonna videos and audios. We're gonna watch a quick presentation right now. What am I sharing? 1 second. So we're gonna watch a quick presentation. Sorry. Okay, cool. Whoa, I'm sharing. Can you guys see what I'm sharing? No, it's wrong. Okay, well, you know what? Let me figure that out in a moment. Baby, please help me. Let me engage them while I figure something is off with my sharing. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think the women panel really, you know, they hit it on different levels. You know, some of my takeaways from that session is you cannot put women in a box. You know, they're different women. You know, like just like people are built in different ways. We talk about the shape. You know, we talk about their spiritual abilities. We talk about their heart. We talk about, you know, their abilities. We talk about what's P? Is it their personalities
yeah.
and E, their experiences. So like all these shape you into who you are today. And we all come in with different, you know, perspectives, with different builds based on our backgrounds and what we've been exposed to and all that. So it's definitely unfair to put everyone in a box. And I'm sure that's what we're going to see with the men too. You know, another one of my takeaways is, you know, communication. Communication is the life of any relationship. So communication has to keep going on, you know, through different seasons. And I like, you know, what the girls talked about, you know, of, you know, not just putting that onus on the woman, but also on the men.
Yeah.
You know, women naturally are communicators, you know, they're always communicating their heart and all that. But men also have to take the time, you know, to want to learn, to want to listen, you know, and that's something that goes on. And listening is also a vital part. So it's not just talking, but also hearing what the other person has to say.
All right, so let's go ahead and listen to this.
Hi, my name is Ayo, and I'm the founder of the Agila Foundation. Agila is a Nigerian word that means walking in your wealth. When I talk about wealth, though, I'm not talking about money or finances. I'm talking something about a little bit more. Things that bring you joy, things that bring you purpose, things that bring you fulfillment. So with that, the mission of the Agila Foundation is to empower our next generation of female leaders with a focus on leadership, innovation, and technology. Leadership, because regardless of where you find yourself professionally, leadership skills will always be important. Innovation, to really cultivate a growth mindset. The world is continuously changing, and so it's important to be adaptive and innovative. And then finally, technology. All companies are going to rely on technology, so how can we start planting the seeds of the various aspects of technology at a young age? And we do all of this through a lens of passion, purpose, and paying it forward. When you identify your passion, it can lead to your purpose. And when you're walking in your purpose, when you're walking in your wealth, don't forget to pay it forward. So the foundation officially launched in 2018, and it was a direct connection to me taking the Leading Lights course in 2017. A friend referred me to the course, I would say summer of 2017, and really gave kudos to the program, had expressed how it was a life-changing experience for her, and highly, highly, highly recommended that I attend as well. So I did. I signed up. I won't lie, I was a little bit hesitant because it's pretty intense. When I took it, it was 3 days, like 8 a.m. to like 10 p.m. each day. So it was a little bit intimidating, but I can confidently say that it is definitely in the top 10 experiences that have really transformed and created me to be the person that I am today. I am so grateful for the opportunity to attend. One of the questions that I still think about today, and I still reference in multiple conversations, is if you were to die yesterday, what would people say about you? Right? And so it's a moment to pause and reflect, and you think about where you are. And if I died yesterday, what would people say about me? What would be in my obituary? And then when I die in 100 years, what would I want people to say about me? Right? So it really helps you think through your values, think through your purpose, and how you want to be remembered, your legacy. I am so grateful for the opportunity to attend. I would highly recommend it to anybody. You know, this 2020 has been an interesting year, right? And I think everybody's had to slow down, has had to pivot strategies. And honestly, this is probably a great time to think about why you're here. What's your purpose? And through this experience, I was able to identify what I was passionate about, and how it's not only something that I'm passionate about now, but it's been through different experiences of my life that have all come together full circle. And that's how the foundation was formed. So to the Leading Lights team, thank you for your time. Thank you for your commitment to really create a generation of purposeful people that are doing things intentionally for Christ. Definitely would be something that I highly recommend. If you would like to know more about the Agila Foundation, we're on all social channels, and our website is agilafoundation.org. That's www.agilafoundation.org. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening.
Hello, Pastor Land and Pastor Deva, you're on mute.
We were talking and we felt people were listening to us. That's communication. You have to ask from the other side whether they are hearing what you are saying. Are you hearing? You're not just talking. All right, so let's welcome the men to SPICEE Night for the next panel. Lawrence, if you can just turn on your video. Welcome to SPICEE Night Exchange. Kevin, welcome to SPICEE Night
Lawrence.
Exchange. Matabian, welcome to
Kevin.
SPICEE Night Exchange. Leka and Toby, welcome to SPICEE Night Exchange.
Welcome.
Welcome, guys. Good to see you. So you guys, like it looks like you have the final word, right?
Yeah.
Ladies first. We always have to put the women first, but sometimes he will laugh last. He will laugh last.
Laughs best.
Laughs best. So the best wine is for the last. First of all, thank you guys for making time out for this panel. I really appreciate it. So let's dive right into it. What do men want? Lawrence, you want to lead us?
Okay, no problem. First of all, I just want to say thank you for Pastor Land and Pastor Debo and everybody with SPICEE Night to allow me to be part of the panel, and also to the ladies to kind of like thank you guys for what you guys have said. A lot of good nuggets were shared today. I was taking notes, so well done. In regard, I just want to piggyback on a lot of the points that you guys are making in general. I think we talked about communication, authenticity, talked about love languages, we talked about support, encouragement. Those are all things that are necessary for me at least, in a partner. I love the fact that, obviously women are vessels. So what we men pour into you guys will give back to us. So I think that that's a huge piece to kind of note. In regards to communication, of course, is important because if you communicate effectively with somebody, you get the most out of that individual. So I think effective communication is key. Regarding the point that I want to make though is the love language piece, because there are two types of love languages. We get the one we give, the one we receive. So for me, for example, I like to receive gifts. And sometimes my partner may or may not like to receive gifts. So maybe I have to check myself in regards to what I'm putting out there. Also, I want to mention that I love what Maya was saying about being authentic. Obviously, authenticity is huge. Even in my prior relationships, I always made sure to be my true self, no matter what I was going through. And it wasn't always easy, but that is huge. That's a huge piece for me. Lastly, I would just say that GB, I love what she said about being your best self right now. Seasons change and time change. People will always gradually be the different version of themselves as time goes by. So I love what she said about that because it's so relevant to just being in relationship with somebody else. And then I just want to bring up compatibility versus chemistry because that's huge for me. Through my prior relationships that I've been part of, I was always drawn to chemistry as opposed to compatibility. So now I'm learning to be more compatible with my partner as opposed to be more chemically, I guess, compatible with them. So that's huge for me. And lastly, I keep saying lastly, but I have one point I want to bring up. I love the fact that nowadays we live in an egalitarian society. So we pretty much have to kind of like share the household, share different things. And it's about equal sacrifice. It's not about equal, effort. It's about equal sacrifice. So if both parties sacrifice equally, no matter what they bring to the table, I think that you get the most out of a relationship that way. So that's
wow, Lauren, you came ready.
You took notes.
Like boom, boom, boom.
My wife is like, can you see now? Better learn from him. Take notes. Kevin, what do men want, Kevin?
I'm not sure I want to follow after Lawrence. yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for having me. And yeah, it was awesome hearing the ladies speak. It was helpful. So thank you. I think some things that like may not have been mentioned as much, like I know for me, I want to be heading in the same direction. And that doesn't mean like our lives have to look identical or like, but just that we're heading in the same direction. And for me, like the desire to seek the Lord first, to put God first in all things. And just to live intentionally in that and having that desire and having that shared intention of living in that way. And I think another thing that's been mentioned a lot is just that this is different for different people. So like, just as women are different, like men are different as well. And so I think we need different things. And so for me, someone that's willing to like, to learn about me, that's like wants to discover me and like find out who I am and may not have all the answers, and it doesn't have all the answers off the bat, but just that openness and that humility and that desire to engage in that together. And for me, the same, like someone I can do that with, someone we can, I can be vulnerable with, and that can be vulnerable with me. And like you touched on, Lawrence, like you were talking about the humility and serving together, and the humility and like growing together, and just like realizing that the more we're vulnerable and open and like everyone's mission communicate together, the deeper we can go, and the more we can just be united together. And so really desiring to add that in a relationship.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Powerful. Yeah. Matabian, Tay, what does men what do men want?
Hello. All right. First of all, I'm married, so I got my idea. One. I gotta put that.
Better say that. You better say that, or you're not gonna.
It's gonna be a rough night.
Let me tell you this joke. There's this joke I usually tell it during the little light training. So it's like some men. So the people were at the gate of heaven, right? So there was a line. So they said the only people that are going to enter heaven this time are people who, men, like the only men that are going to enter into heaven are the ones that took charge of their home, that they didn't allow any woman to control them. So out of all the men that were standing, one man just left the line and he was on the other line that, so everybody was like, wow, this man, no woman controlled you. So Peter at the gate was like, wow, good man. So tell us, the man looked at him and said, no, I'm only here because my wife said, if you don't go there, you're in trouble. So you better say that. I'm just pulling your legs. Go ahead, Tay.
Now, when the woman was on the panel, my wife was just over here jumping. They had her excited. She was excited about everything the women were saying.
I could see her commenting on Facebook. She was just commenting on Facebook. Yeah.
Crazy.
Go ahead.
Like, say that, sister. But yeah, my ideal woman is just a smart woman, educated. She has to be on the same mission. Has to put God first, like Kevin said, and just be open. And we have to be compatible, going on the same path, having the same idea as far as children, the marriage, and just everything as far as money and how we building as a team, just going forward.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Tay. Lekon.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. And happy birthday, Pastor Deborah. It's been an interesting platform. I've heard what everybody said, and well, before I make my own points, I'm just gonna kind of what Lawrence did, just kind of go back and just touched on one or two things that the ladies had said. When they mentioned all these things, I was surprised that none of them mentioned that they wanted a man with a fear of God or something like that. So I'm like, wait a minute, this is what I thought women want most.
That's basic, like.
I was gonna ask them this question, but I didn't ask it. Maybe I will ask when they come back. I wanted to ask, why do women like bad guys? I understand that women like bad guys. Like they will leave guys that are in church, right? Guys that are like they're doing stuff in church. They will go and look for one bad guy to try to convert the guy. I want to find out the reason for that.
Is
Because
that general though? Is that a general?
No, as a pastor, I've seen it. There's just this thing about women that are very adventurous. So I'm going to ask them later. So
yeah, I mean, Jimmy kind of alluded to it because she mentioned about the teachability part, which could be an offshoot of what she meant by fear. Honestly, I'm married now, and I can reflect back to when I was single. I don't know what Kemi did. I don't know what kind of prayer she did. I was a super knucklehead. Nobody could talk to me, and she was like, what? But after a while, I started saying, like, and I guess again, it's probably the seasons of life. I started saying things in a different way, and you have to listen and things like that. So, but there's a caveat I want to bring up is we have to be careful when setting expectations, because seasons of life changes everything. When we were dating, what do men want? I want sex. I want to have sex 5 days a week. But when a child came in the picture, when Demi came in the picture, that expectation flew out the window, and I had to adjust. I'm like, it came like a shock to me. Like, okay, what's
yeah, keeping it real.
Like what's going on? So we gotta be careful when setting expectations, because seasons of life really changes those things sometimes. But for the most part, I think what a man wants is he wants a woman that will be able to respect him, treat him like a hero, and this has nothing to do with the equality thing or feminism. This is just the ego in a man that wants to be tended to. They want a woman to make them feel like, oh, you're the man. You're like the strongest man.
Talking, because I would say that is my own number one. When they the need of a man.
I want to be the strongest man in the room. But believe it or not. So so I want that. And then communication. Please say what you want to say like 10 times, because man, we don't listen. And I always tell my wife, like, I know you want to tell me this, but you have to repeat it like 10 times, because the first time you said it, I really didn't hear it. So communication, just please give us that, that chance. Say it like 5 times. Maybe at the 5th time, we're gonna be like, oh, she really needs this thing. So let me do it. And then I kind of want to comment on what I think it was Maya that said it, or about authenticity. It is good for a man to be authentic, and I really appreciate that you wanted that. But the thing is, how do you come off as a man too, as a woman? If you want a man to be authentic, transparent, open to you, how do you come up to them? How do you come off? Like, do you come off as like a resting, not so nice face, or how do you, when they try to approach you, what did you are you putting them in a situation where they have to pretend to be what they're not? That's another thing that I wanted to comment on, and I think that's
Thank you. Toby. Hello, Toby.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
I hope, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for the for the opportunity. Arsalan, I'm especially thank you for putting me at the first from behind, because you made the work very easy for me. Everybody, everybody has said everything, and I think it's a vibe wants a man who's a leader. I think it's based on expectation. So I'll just run through some of the things I have here. For me, I'll be looking out for someone who loves God. That's no doubt about that. Someone who has the teachability spirit, who's submissive. Somebody who's a good communicator. Communication is very, very important. I mean, miscommunication causes a lot of problems in relationship, and it could lead to divorce. Someone who can, another thing is someone who can support, and someone who's a helper. I love someone who can be my friend. There's this expectation about sex, and I'm always, and let's be real, like, let's say you're so energetic and you're very powerful. Let's say, let's give maybe an hour in a day. The remaining 23 hours, for crying out loud, what are you guys going to be doing? So I think communication, someone who's your friend, I mean, I don't understand. It baffles me. So another thing I think I'll look out for in someone who's loving and attractive. But before I proceed, I'd like to read two scriptures, and I'd like to touch on the one who's about the good attitude. First Peter chapter 3, verse 3-4 says, don't be concerned about the outward beauty of the fancy hairstyles, expensive jewelries, or beautiful clothes. You should clothe yourself instead with the beauty that comes from within, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is so precious to God. There's so a lot of women out there, they look so pretty, but the attitude, John C. Maxwell says that attitude is the difference maker. Attitude determines your attitude. So I think I'm telling you, that's the highest percentage of most women who are supposed to actually be married today, but maybe they don't know what to tell them. Their attitude, how do you react to a man? Even if you are not interested in him, it's a way you talk. There's when someone actually, there's a way you answer, and I think let's check that. And I'll go on the teach. I think GD mentioned this, and I was so happy when she mentioned that teachability. I jokingly say to people, I can marry a lady who doesn't know how to cook, but are you ready to learn? Can we talk together? Can we show things? And you can see that Proverbs 21:19 says, better to live in the wilderness than with a nagging and all-tempered woman. Proverbs 25:24 says that better to live on the corner of a roof than to share a house with a knife. This is something like that, So I feel, if we can actually, communicate and an helper, that's what the Bible says that and I don't support men who are dominant. I'm not an autocratic person. That is why if you look at it in the Bible, they beside. You are not supposed to say maybe she's in front or behind. You guys should apart. I say to people like, you say, Bible says that men should, and I look at man, the ego is just like, you say love, love the wife as Christ loved the church. If you know what it takes for Christ to love the church, you'll be like, God, you need to help me because Christ died for the church. Are you ready to die for the woman? Maybe not literally, but I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So I think it's more of understanding, communication, good attitude, love of God and feel if someone got yes and all think I'll just
Thank you, Toby. Your video was breaking, but we're able to get you. Your audio was breaking a little bit, but we're able to get everything you said, at least 98% of it.
Yeah, he's stirring up some reactions.
Yeah, on Facebook. Ladies are commenting on Facebook. Come on, preach it, Pastor Toby. Okay, I want to ask you guys a quick question, all of you now. What is the best thing your woman can do for you? And what's the worst thing your woman can do to you? What's the best thing your woman can do to you? And what's, from your perspective, what's the worst thing the woman can do to you? I think we're going to learn a lot from that. Anybody can go first.
I can go first.
Yeah.
Trust me. If a woman trusts me, it goes further than loving me. If you can trust me, that goes further to me personally. I don't know how the other men feel. The worst you can do is, of course, lie or cheat. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone can go next. It's open floor.
Okay, for me, I would say, okay, all right. Okay, for me, I would say a woman that can actually listen. You can listen, you can learn. I think that would be something, of value between. But when it comes to the worst thing that a woman who, personally, I'm somebody who I choose my words wisely. So when people talk to me, somehow it gets at me and it can cause a lot of, so it's a no-no for me. A woman who just talk from both of our mouth, who cannot be controlled. I don't think I can live with that.
Okay, thank you. Kevin, Tay, Laker.
Right. I was gonna say, for the good thing a woman can do for me is console me and understand me. The bad thing a woman can do for me is not listen and have an attitude. Attitude is everything. Like he was saying about the attitude. The attitude is the worst.
Okay.
Bad attitude.
Thank you.
I think the best thing a woman can do for me is receive me, and yeah, just press into that, accept me for who I am, like the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then the worst thing is deceive me and yeah, lie, manipulate, distort.
Okay, thank you.
I kind of share the same thing with what most people said. I mean, the best thing you can do, yeah, just accept me, respect me, and you know, just for who I am, you know. And then the worst is, yeah, same way, like dishonesty or deceit, other things. Yeah, that's probably the worst thing that can happen to any man.
Very good. So my wife has a question for you on behalf of the women.
Wow. You caught me unawares. But let's see. What would I like to ask you? Did we talk about the top two qualities or the non-negotiables? Okay, what are the non-negotiables? So you talked about, you know, the best and the worst, but what are the non-negotiables for you? Like in a relationship, what's the deal breaker?
Okay, I guess I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna just say, if she lets herself go, it just tells me that physically or whatever, whether it's more so physically for me. I mean, I'm a little vain in that department. I need some assistance in that department. Not gonna front. But if she lets herself go physically, or just basically just loses interest in, you know, bettering herself, that's completely a deal breaker for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
That's good.
Thank you.
Anybody?
Leka.
Yeah, a deal breaker for me would be, yeah, I love smartness. I love to have into, you know, smart conversation. So if you don't have that, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Evan.
Yeah, I think it would go to some of what I already mentioned, but just like if she doesn't have that like desire to really serve the Lord with her whole heart, if that's not the first thing, and then yeah, if we're not heading in the same direction, which is similar, but then also like if there's not that mutual compatibility, attraction, if we don't, like someone was talking about compatibility, but yeah, if we don't like chemistry, but more than that, the compatibility. If someone was saying like how there's 24 hours in a day, and so 23, if we can't be friends and like get along and like really enjoy each other's company, that would be a deal killer for me.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me just a quick programming note for those who are watching. We had some delays doing it, so we're just going to go about an extra 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you know, at most on this. So finish at 9:15.
Yeah.
So just wanted to put that programming.
The women are waiting.
Yeah, because the women are waiting to come back and meet the men. So yes, go ahead. Who hasn't talked? Toby, please.
I think that would be. I also say a lady was a bad attitude, and someone who doesn't love God. I mean, love God. How do you see God? Do you really are you active in the church, not just as a worker, but can you say God knows you? You know, I mean that communication between.
Okay. Okay. You're non-negotiables. My wife wants to know.
Happy birthday, Pastor Debo, anyway, too.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was going to say, like Lauren said, letting herself go, but ambition. She has to have ambition. Okay. She's not ambitious. It's kind of a deal breaker because I know how I am. She has to be on the same page.
Okay.
Wow. And Natasha's, she's driven. She's got the drive.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. So I have this question, guys, and maybe a few of you can address it. Why is a question I want to answer? Why is it that women seem more committed to, it's like they're usually more committed to God than the men? or church? What do men have with the church? What's the problem that you guys have with the church? We have to talk. I know some of you are very committed and all, but let me know, maybe you'll be hearing, what's the problem that men have with church?
Authority.
Say it, let us know.
Some said authority.
Yeah.
That was me. I said authority. I think I like a lot of guys I know, the problem is authority. And they'll try to say like, I'm not about to go to church and give the preachers my money or stuff like that. But I think it's an authority thing, and they afraid to commit the commitment to God and try to follow in God's orders. Some men I don't think they want to do it right. Well, at certain times in their life, they're not ready.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think
I think on that same page is trust. Like, a lot of us growing up saw or potentially saw a lot of hypocrisy in the church, and especially with men who would preach one thing, tell us one thing, and then do another. And so we didn't have a lot of good examples. And that's not true for everyone, but a lot of people, and a lot of like men in the church looks a lot like men in the world. And so you don't see godly men. And so you say, come and join us, but you don't necessarily see the heart of Jesus in them.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. This is good insight. Lawrence,
I think
Lekon, go ahead.
I think the main difference is because men are seers and women are hearers. Men hear stuff. They're emotional. You preach to them. You tell them, hey, come do this. It's everywhere. Even in healthcare, women seek care more than men. In therapy, they open up more than men. They do different kind of things more because they're more emotional. A man sees it. A man says, well, this is what is going on here. I don't think I want to go to church today. This is how I see it, So I think that's a big factor. The emotional nature of women, they're more amenable to do things that, will get them involved, that will get their emotion involved and stirred up and stuff like that.
Very good. Thank you. Lawrence, Toby.
Yeah, I agree with all the men what they said. I think sometimes too is churches on Sundays, sports on Sundays. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's sports.
Real.
Honestly, for me, it's a difficult question because it's a hard nut I've been trying to crack, because when I see is what I've been trying to help a couple of people with. But I think, like someone has said, maybe it's because they've seen too many men of God in, there's no integrity. So as such, they feel like, oh, what are they doing over there? And some other men, it might be an issue of submission. Like, is a man like me now? Is your pastor? So whatever. I mean, we pray here in the house and God answers us and all this kind of things. So I feel that's just it. Let us please.
Okay. Wow. Thank you guys for such great insight. So we're quickly going to, there's a spoken word, it's about 2 minutes. We're going to watch that and I'm going to bring the ladies in. So you could turn off your video very quickly while we watch that spoken word by one of our young ones. And then we'll bring out the ladies in.
In a partnership, women want men to listen. And we have to compromise when it comes to making decisions. And if you don't get our point of view, that's fine. You can understand, but you just have to pay attention. And we don't need all your attention. Just enough so that we know you're here when we need you. Because as strong as women are, they do have feelings, and a little extra attention helps with the healing. And when we have questions during conversation, sometimes it's not an interrogation. We just want to know how your day is going and see if everything is okay. Even though sometimes we need a 4-page explanation. And words should be accompanied by actions. Sometimes words aren't enough. Showing a woman that you're telling the truth gives her satisfaction. Otherwise, your words are like a broken promise without actions to back it up. And some men say women are needy, but I say no way. Look at my mom. She takes care of me and my 3 younger siblings every day. And she's a warrior. Without her, I wouldn't be the young woman you see right now today. Now, I know there are probably some things I skipped, and there's probably way more on the list. But I'm only 14, and I've never had a boyfriend. So I was barely qualified to do this.
Wow, wasn't that fun?
Awesome.
All right, everybody, turn on your video, both men and women, and let's wrap this up. Okay, crossfire. That's what they call this. Crossfire exchange. Did we lose some people? Let's see. I know Betty had to go.
GB.
Well, I think we lost GB. Okay, but if they come in, I'll bring them up. Okay. Oh, GB is there. All right, good. Okay, now how do you want to do this, baby? Everybody, turn on your audio. So let's hear from the women.
Like a response.
A response to what the men said. Yes, because the men had a response to what you said. What is your response to what they have said?
I think all the men was very authentic and really real what they like, their likes and their dislikes. What caught me really my ear, even though I'm not this type of woman, is the woman with the attitude. And that seems sometimes like a stereotype that a lot of women have attitudes. And I don't know if it's, how they express themselves or how they try to articulate their message, maybe could be mistaken for an attitude. And deep down inside, they can be the sweetest flower. So didn't catch me off guard, but it was like, okay, what does that mean, a woman with an attitude?
Okay. All right. So, men, what does it mean? What do you mean by a woman with an attitude?
I think it was Tate.
I think Toby said it.
I think I said that. And I think what it includes a lady being snobbish. It includes a lady just looking at a man physically and just like summarize his whole life in one sentence. Like, okay, this is all this guy, you don't even want to like take time to actually study him and get to know what is his future, what is, I'm talking about people who that doesn't go for every lady, you know what I mean? I mean, it's talking about people who are really focused about the mundane things, or not really want the tomorrow. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay. Batavia, you also talk about a woman that has attitude. What do you mean? The ladies are trying to find out. What do you mean by attitude?
Just have an attitude about about something as small as something small. I can see if you having an attitude about something that might have hurt you some type of way, emotionally or something, then you got an attitude. But just to have an attitude about something small, like, I don't even know, something just small, just women have an attitude. I can't do that. That's not right for women just to be mad about anything. Like, they could be having a bad day at work and they come home and talk to you about it. And if you're not really listening like how they want you to listen, they just, oh, you don't listen to me, you don't care. No, that's not right. That's not right. You can't have an attitude like that.
All right, ladies.
I just say something, and I actually have an actual question, but I just want to respond to this whole attitude thing. We are creatures, or we either act or react, right? So how about maybe trying to assess why this person may have an attitude? I mean, I want to believe that the people that we're speaking about aren't crazy. So if there's something that if they're acting in a certain way, because they're probably reacting to something. So maybe just calm down and ask, what's the problem? Are you hungry? Do you want to go out?
It could be hunger. It could
be hunger. It could be hunger. Like, it's the thing. So maybe you should ask, like, and maybe you shouldn't. And I think this is a thing for men. I really don't want men to automatically go to, oh, she has an attitude, because that puts women in a box. Because you generalize.
That's attitude right
there. It's not fair. Why don't you just ask?
And I want to add on to what you're saying, GB. I think for me, there's different communication and cultural kind of components to this and how people express themselves. I think for me, when I heard the attitude thing, I really tried not to take it personally, because not to me, but to my fellow sisters, because when a man, I've dealt with more men that had attitudes than women, but when a man is flaring up, it's not an attitude. Man is frustrated. It's the Black man trying to live in this world. You know, he's trying so hard, you know, cut him a slack. He got to go and work 9 to 5 and he's not paying what he, you know, but with a woman, it's an attitude. We ain't got all the time for all of that. I think what we really should use this as a medium. Martavia, stop laughing. You know, I think my role, what I always try to see is what GP says, go down to the root. With a woman flaring up, I don't know, maybe because I'm a woman too, I can give a lot of more grace. It's still wrong. Like, you should always dress the way you want to be addressed and speak the way you want to be spoken to, hands down. But I think that as men and women, in order for us to get to that ideal stage, we have to think about it like outside of the gender and to walk with that Christ-like love. I know a comment was made in the beginning about, oh, you know, I was really wondering, you know, no woman said on the call about they want a man of God. That's a given. I think this is right now, it's we having some real talk. I personally appreciate the City Light and the LDC having this medium to say, let's park the God aspect just for a second. It's very important. Let's just park it, okay? Let's talk about some real world-like issues that we're going through. And for me, I think that having conversations about what is it that women do to frustrate men is a start, but we also have to piggyback on what is it that men do to frustrate women, or what our non-negotiables. And then when you start piecing these out, and I think this panel is a first wonderful step, we get to the root of saying like, oh, wow, back to what Pastor Land and Pastor Davis said, we are all individuals and you can't put us in a box. So I think it was very interesting and enlightening to hear some of the things that the men said while, you know, we're taking a break, and, you know, I was on mute, but I was like, I know he didn't. I can't believe, don't let him sound good. That's an attitude. That's the attitude? Well, you know what? If that's what you think is the attitude, I call it expressing myself. So I know that we are here to, you know, understand each and everybody's view, but not going to talk too much, but I will say that understanding a woman's expression is not at the gender level, it's at the individual level.
I agree.
All right.
Just real quick, sorry, I want to just add. I think it's important to note that if someone's having a bad day or is having an attitude about something, it doesn't take much to cheer them up. A compliment goes a long way. You know, no matter what type of day they're having, no matter how they're perceiving you, a compliment goes a long way. So it can cheer someone's day up. Let's be saying, hey, I like what you're wearing, or I like your smile, or I like your whatever. It goes a long way. So, you know, important to know.
Very good.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, GB.
Oh, I'm sorry, Martavian. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I want to hear you.
So this is a thing about the whole dominance and submission thing. I think that's like the bigger box. But someone mentioned something about men want to be treated like heroes and kings, and then all the guys are like, yeah. That's not an attitude. That's exactly what happened. Everybody was like, yeah. My question is, you want to be treated like a king and treated like a hero. Are you behaving like one? Women are smart. We will not reward bad behavior. If you're acting like a knucklehead, we're not going to say, oh my God, you're doing so well. You are the king of my life. And no.
All right.
Ask yourself first.
Okay.
Are you doing the things that you ought to do to make your home peaceful, to make your home happy, to make your wife happy? Are you being your best self? think of the situation. Are you doing, like, if you handled it a certain way, could you have handled it better? Could you have acted like an actual king, or could you have acted like an actual hero? These are the kind of things that you guys need to consider. You cannot expect women to treat you like kings and heroes because you're a man. It doesn't work that way. Act accordingly and we will reward.
They call us a response for you.
I made that statement. Let me clarify what I said. Just like you guys bashed me that, oh, fear of God is implied.
I said that.
No, I didn't say it's implied. I said
no. I said it.
Let's park it. We know that. Okay, so
well, yeah. I mean, and so in the same way, if a man wants to be treated like a hero, it's implied that he has to behave like one. So, well, there's this book called Love and Respect. If you've not had the book, I mean, if you're planning to get married, even if you're married, because I still listen to it, I have the audio file and I can send it to anybody that requests it. So the major thing that a woman wants, according to the book, says is love, and the man is respect. So if I don't love my wife enough, I don't expect her to treat me like a king. I mean, that's implied, you know, like so when I'm saying I want to be respected, I want to be treated like a hero. Of course, I've done my own part. I'm not just gonna be a knucklehead and expect. I mean, it's whatever you give that you take. You know, like Lawrence mentioned, women are vessels. It's whatever you pour into it that you get. So yeah. So that's
also, you know, you get what you give.
Go ahead, Lawrence.
I'm saying as you get what you give. So if your expectation is to be respected, you know, put out vibes that the men respect, of course. So obviously, as you said, you know, you want to be treated like a king, or like you're worthy enough. So the objective is to do the things that are necessary to be treated that way. So that's really, I mean, I agree with what everyone's saying. I think in theory it makes sense, but in practice that's where we get lost in translation. You know what I mean? So yeah.
But Kevin, what about this situation? You know, this situation of walking in love, where somebody is, you know, that person is not acting the way they're supposed to act. But you, as a love person, you treat that person that way to raise that person to that level. You want to speak to that, Kevin?
Yeah. Sorry, your question caught me off guard. I think love is deeper.
Let me explain. What I mean is that everybody's saying you treat him like a king because he's acting like a king. And then the men might say, you treat her well because she doesn't have an attitude or whatever. But what about that situation as believers? We're supposed to practice agape love, where if the person is not acting that way, you are still supposed to love them unconditionally. So in other words, you have to treat a knucklehead like a king to bring out the king out of him, right? So
yeah. I think you think about how Jesus treats us. Yeah. Like he loves us, he honors us, he respects us, but he's also real to us, and he speaks to us in truth, and he disciplines us in love and wisdom. And you think about how love is more than just like saying what someone wants to hear and pampering them. Like it goes deep. And so I would want a wife that like doesn't just treat me like a king, but that says when things need to be said, when I need to be called out on some things, can do that, but from a place in love. And same with her, like walking with her, part of treating her with love, if she's saying those things, being able to speak into that, if she's not like acting, being able to like have those conversations, but that is from a place of care and concern for her. And knowing the heart, that she would see my heart and know it, even if it's a difficult, hard conversation to have.
Thank you. Ella, say something to that, and then we're going to be rounding up with that. Ella, what's your take?
Yeah, it's so important to navigate, you know, as we're talking about like navigating, you know, conflict, especially if someone is not acting how they should in a relationship. It's so important just to hit the nail on the head, to be honest, to be truthful. Sometimes it may mean, you know, just waiting for the proper time to have that conversation, you know, waiting for the right moment to be able to say, can we look at this? Can we address this? How should we move forward together? next time so this doesn't have to occur, is really important. And I think being yourself, being truthful to what you know as an individual, and being able to admit your weakness when you're wrong and ask for forgiveness is so important. And then along that line with forgiveness, there are different love languages of forgiveness. So knowing what your partner has as their forgiveness love language can be very important to know.
Thank you. So I have one question before we go, and this is to the ladies. Please, I asked the guy why men don't like church or whatever. Generally, I know some men love church, but I'm just saying generally. Is it true that women like bad guys, and why?
That's a good question, Pastor Land. I don't think it is about bad guys. I think it is, as you notice, that it is a disconnect with the more women in church than men in church, right? So when you're doing your daily things and you're happening, you may meet a guy that may not be in church. So I'm not going to characterize him as a bad guy, but he's just not a guy that was raised in church and probably been exposed to the church, and usually that's where they are. And then sometimes women get, and that's why and to me, we probably stay single too long, because you're saying, I just want a man that's go to church. And then it ain't that many to choose from.
Yeah. So when I say bad guy, I'm going to let Essie talk. When I say bad guy, I'm not even just talking about somebody who is outside, but they say women like bad guys, like that guy. They want to convert the guy. They want to change him from being a gang member or whatever or something. Why? Essie or anybody, I don't know.
First of all, I like how you prefaced your definition of bad so that I can really understand your question of what you're saying. You're saying why?
Let me quickly read something on Facebook. It said, no women don't like bad guys. They are attracted to the confidence that bad guys usually have in their approach.
Okay. All right. So your question really is not why do women like bad guys, is why do women want to change gang bangers and all of what you just said? Is that what you said? That's just to understand.
They're attracted to guys that are like,
they're like attracted, just like that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Let me.
First of all, the choir boy will be praying, love the woman, but the woman will not look at her. Look at that guy.
So to answer that question first, I would just like to give my opinion about the question. I think that perpetuates the stereotype that there are women out there who do that, even if it's a small minority, but that it's not, do women like bad guys? It's why do women go after bad guys? So when I received that question, I said to myself, what is a bad guy? I personally don't go after bad guys because I don't like stress and I want to live to at least be 60 years old. So I don't want to die in accidental gunfire or anything of that sort. But I will say that sometimes it's easy to relate to people outside of the church. My opinion, I'm not speaking for a woman or a Black woman, Essie. I think that sometimes our over-religious folks who, when you usually see a man in the church because there's a deficit of them, they're, in my opinion, usually over-spiritualize everything, and I feel like I can't connect with them. Like, my brother, how you doing today? You wanna, let's go out to the park. Oh, no, the sex is evil. What? So there's always, I feel like the people.
Look at what Pastor Jose, I can't believe Pastor Jose posted this on Facebook. He said,
yeah,
church boy game is weak.
You know, I just feel like the guys out there who maybe, are not in the church are a little bit more approachable, but I can't speak, but I would just, that's my own take. I would say that the folks in the church, you kind of have to give them the left coming from. But I don't go after bad guys. I don't go after guys that cause me stress to lose my citizenship. I just go after, I go after guys that I have a connection with. So maybe a woman can answer the question who have dated people who are bad.
Okay. All right. Well, does anybody want to address that question? Because we have to end this now. GB, you want to speak to that? You only like the church boys, right? You are muted, I think. Oh no, you are not.
No, she's in shock by your comment.
You know what, Pastor Land? It's like for me, because I grew up on the south side of Chicago, you know, and I can relate to those type of guys, to be honest with you. If I see you outside and I see one of my friends and I'm gonna be real in front of the liquor store, I'd be like, hey, you know, so you can relate to those people. Not that I am that type of person, but you can relate to them. So if you have been in that environment, I can just say that probably, you know.
I agree with that, Maya, and I think that goes both ways.
What do church boys have to do?
Pastor, all I can say, I think they've been meeting the wrong church guys. You understand? There are new breed of church guys now who are both spiritual and everything. Trust me. I can see for myself another kind of person. I'm spiritual and
Toby, I think you guys have been meeting the wrong.
Toby, are you single? Toby, are you single?
Yes, now. Yes.
Okay, check him out.
Now meeting the wrong church boys. When we were church boys, we were bad and we were church boys.
But you know what they say? All sick people are in church anyway. So
that's what I'm saying.
No, seriously.
That's what they say. Well, if you want to find all the sick people, go to church.
No, seriously.
You ever heard of that?
when I was in Nigeria, I was in a university in Nigeria, and we had like a church campus. Trust me, the pastors there are like the baddest guys on the street. I mean, like they're church bad. I mean, that's why I'm like, I don't know what kind of church guys and you guys have met. And I really agree with Toby there.
Yeah. Wow, this has been a wonderful, wonderful conversation. I know we still have to have more and more of this, but I want to thank all the panelists. Thank you so much for your openness, authenticity, vulnerability, your knowledge, and for speaking very real, being very real today. I want to thank you. Also, thank you for your time. Baby, thank you for co-hosting with me on your birthday. Sure, my pleasure. Yeah, and for those of you that are watching us on Facebook and YouTube, thank you also so much for joining us for SPICEE Night for this month. The next SPICEE Night is October 7th. October 7th, the first Wednesday of October, and we're going to be coming back again with some other interesting conversations that will be a blessing to you. I just want to say this is produced by the Light Development Center in collaboration with the City Light Church, and we are non-profit. You can support us. You can support the things that we do by going to our website, the Light Development Center.org. You can donate into the LDC by just Zelle to LDC at the citylight.org. You can also do it on PayPal also. But we just ask for your support for the things that the LDC does. So thank you everybody for joining us for September SPICEE. You guys have a wonderful evening, and we will see you guys on Facebook. We're going to sign off on Facebook and YouTube right now. Thank you. Let's say bye-bye to all our watchers, all the people watching us. All right, bye everybody.
Bye-bye everybody.
You guys, please get into if you are a City Light insider or LDC insider, get into the USA group, and please let's have your comment concerning today's SPICEE. Just put it in there so that